Hold on. Now.
Thanks for that intro, Nan. Good evening.
It's all right.
How
You
we
come
doing,
out to see
everybody?
me.
Can't see me, ain't you? Yeah.
Come see me, ain't you?
Yes, donations will be taken later. So, evening, guys. How are we doing? It's nice to see you. So, tonight we are going to be talking about paranormal investigations that we did last Saturday in Lincolnshire. So, hopefully, some of you did actually catch the live feeds that we did. So, obviously, unfortunately, Graeme and Carl couldn't make it to that the event due to one thing or another. But what we're going to do is we're going to be okay. So we're just trying to get a bit of sympathy there, but it's not going to work.
He's showing you his crutch.
Oh, don't be showing us
This
that.
is a family show.
Live on air. It is.
You'll need to zoom in. Zoom in.
Don't be showing us your wood.
Yeah,
Don't be showing us that wood.
It is not wood. It is a wand. I keep telling you that. And it's got magical powers.
It is not magic. I've told you before.
I'm going to start it already. So, try and bring a little bit of decorum back to this thing. I'd be interested to know what people's thoughts are on the photographs and what we did capture. And so tonight, what we're going to do is share with you some evidence that we did capture. And if you want to participate yourself, then please do so. But also tonight, just sort of little bird, we've got a little shout out to give to a big fan of ours whose name is Alex. I know he watches this show and he's a big fan of ours, and I think I might just make him squirm with embarrassment at this. But hi, Alex, how are you doing?
Hi, Alex.
I just thought I'd show that I was too.
Hi, Alex.
Hiya, Alex.
Hello.
Alex is my lovely nephew. He's absolutely a wonderful lad. He is. He's a wonderful lad. And he's really enjoying watching our investigations. He really is.
Hello, Megan.
Fantastic. Hiya.
Hi, Megan. Hiya.
Hi,
You all
Megan.
right, darling?
The 6th member of our team. One day we might even get you on here, Megan. You never know. So, Alex, just a little message for you, mate. If you keep watching, got a little surprise for you at the end of the show tonight. So, and hopefully you might like it. So, keep yourself tuned. So, at some point tonight, I will actually have to just leave you all in the very capable hands of the rest of this team for a few minutes, but I will be back, unfortunately for you, for the end of the show. So, but without further ado, let's talk about these investigations we did, first of all. We did Nettleham Hall, or two of us did all. Then we met up and did Hubbard Hills, and then finally a great pub and a great atmosphere and a great investigation conclusion to the night of the gas lamp in Louth. So what we're going to do, I think we'll take it all in together. Not the only fan. No, we know we're not.
No.
Bless you. Thanks, Megan. We're a fan of yours as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off right at the very beginning with Nettleham Hall, and then I think forget the backstory to this from Glynn and Christina, who were the people that actually went there, and then they could show some evidence, and then so over to Intrepid Explorers. Which who wants to start first?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
So yes, was inspired to take a trip out to Lincoln because it was on the way to our next locations, and I found this location on the internet there, and it looked really, really interesting. So this is called Nettleham Hall, and it's a disused hall. It's been derelict for absolutely years. I'm not completely familiar with the history of it, but I just, as a medium, I just felt the vibes that it was somewhere where we had to go. And so when we got there, we was very, very surprised because it looks very like disheveled and haunting, as you would expect. And we went in there and we just had a look around the perimeter. Because it's all fenced off, because it's unsafe to everyone, the public, because with it being derelict there. So Christina and myself, as mediums, we decided to tune into the energy of the land and see what we could pick up. Now, I've got a small video clip, which you can also find on on this page, and also it is available on our YouTube channel. But I'll just play a little tiny bit just to give you a flavour to what we're actually talking about. So let me just get it up for you. Okay, is it coming up? So here we go.
In my mind's eye, I've just seen a well-to-do gentleman with a 12-ball shotgun, double-barreled. He's wearing the tweed.
Sorry.
No, after
and
you.
I've just seen a maid. I believe that this was the maid who haunted the back end of the house. They were very wealthy people, and they had many staff. We've got a couple of others from all classes.
I feel as you've spoken there, I just feel sick to the stomach, and it feels like something untoward's happened here. I feel as though a beating that led to a death, and something was covered up, and I've just been told bludgeoned, and they've just shown me a log, so I feel someone's been hit over the head.
I feel it was actually a servant who was brutally attacked by the hierarchy in the house because he did something that he wasn't allowed to do or meant to do. I'm feeling food, bread. He was eating bread and he got caught stealing some bread. He was hungry, but he got more than just a telling off. And then it was absolutely.
So yeah, that was just to give you all a little bit of a taster. Like we say, you can watch the full content on this page and also on our YouTube channel. But what was your impressions of that location, Christina?
It was very haunting, wasn't it? The energies, even though it had been derelict for a long time, there was all that residual energy, wasn't there, from all the walks of life that lived there. We managed to channel the energy of not such a nice gentleman who did some not very nice things, didn't we? And also a maid, and we also channeled a couple of other people and what happened to them while they lived there. It was absolutely fascinating. Also on the footage, the full footage, we've actually captured, haven't we, a maid and also a dog, which you sent the dog as well, didn't you, Glenn?
Actually, so yes. While you're telling this, I'll put those pictures up.
Yeah, lovely. Because the gentleman in question that we did channel, who was a very unsavoury character to say the least, he was a hunting man and he did have dogs. Is this the picture? Oh, what's the picture?
This is the one with the dogs.
Yeah. We zoom in a little bit to see it ever so clear. It's as clear, isn't it, when it's zoomed in?
Well, this is the original photograph.
But that's the original.
And then I just zoomed into this area here.
You can see it so clear.
There we go.
There you go. And he looks like a German Shepherd, doesn't it? Or an Alsatian, as they was then called, probably.
You can even see the leg bent there, can't you? Look.
Absolutely, and the ears and everything. It's very clear, isn't it? And we felt he was a hunting dog as well. And you also asked about distemper, didn't you?
That's
a disease that dogs that dogs get. So it's quite possible, unfortunately, possibly got that and was probably, you know, something of
Dispatched.
yes, put it that way, sort of thing. Probably with that shotgun. Sounds
probably,
awful,
yeah.
but that's probably what was channeled. In the next photograph, we both channeled a maid, didn't we? And a whole background story about what happened to one of the younger staff that worked there, and something was inflicted onto him by the hierarchy of the house. The gentleman, well, it wasn't very gentle, the man that we channeled in, and she was communicating a story of what happened to this youngish chap and how she helped him leave. And we've actually got zoomed in, we've actually got her, haven't we? You can actually see her hat and everything, can't you?
Yes. So it was this area just here, and I'm going to show you the picture I zoomed into. And there's actually two spirits in there. So we've got one here, the maid that we're talking about. You can see the white. What would you call that? It's like a blouse, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah. And then she's wearing sort of like a mop cap thing as well.
And then there's a gentleman here building up, and he's got a flat hat on.
But we did actually channel a chat with a flat hat, didn't we? A flat cap.
Yes.
The nice older gentleman that had a very nice energy about him, who stuck up for the staff. So I do feel that was him, because we quite liked his energy, didn't we? He was quite
funny,
quite gentleman, weren't he? Yeah, he was. He was lovely. So I do feel that they would have stuck together anyway, because I think he was more on their side than the other chap that we unfortunately, you know, channeled in.
Well, didn't we pick up that he used to give some of his money to the staff?
Yes, absolutely. He'd hand out notes, wouldn't he? Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
So that they could, you know, get whatever they needed. He was lovely, wasn't he? He had really, really kind energy and quite a good sense of humour. And he was like a war hero, wasn't he? He was quite a you know, humble man. He was absolutely lovely, and he was on the side of the staff. I think actually on the full footage, as we walked around this part of the house, I think we both said that we felt it was the staff quarters, didn't we? Around that side.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's fascinating, because at the time that, you know, you took these photographs, we couldn't see it actually in our physical eyes, could we? So it's wonderful that now with our physical eyes we can actually see proof of what we was channeling. It's amazing, isn't it, really?
I love the fact that he's looking at us as I've taken the photo. It's tremendous.
Almost like he's posing.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's posing for us, isn't it? And it's lovely as well that we managed to capture those two lovely spirits, because they were absolutely very lovely people. The maid in question helped the young lad that unfortunately got something he didn't want, let's just say, because it's a family show. She actually helped him escape, didn't she? Because he was very, very, very close to doing, you know, drastic things to sort of get out, and she managed to help him leave, and that was channeled through as well, wasn't it? So it's lovely that we captured those two in particular, because they were the nicer energies of the ones we picked up on, because obviously the one wasn't quite so nice. Although saying that, towards the end, I did actually feel he'd repented, because I suddenly came over all emotion, didn't I? And I could see him as a little boy, and it was quite overpowering actually, the emotions I was feeling, and I could actually see him as a little boy and what he was saying. So it's almost like he was showing us why he turned into that person that he was. And then towards the end of that particular live, we actually helped him pass, didn't we?
That's right.
So him go towards the light as well.
One of the group members on here actually commented that there's a gentleman behind you, so he picked up on the energy of this gentleman.
Yes, he did. He did.
And what we were describing. So
Yeah, a tall
that was
gentleman, he said,
interesting.
didn't he? Yeah,
That was interesting
absolutely.
that occurred. So,
And
what does?
also, sorry.
No, after you. You're okay.
And also, Lydia actually commented that she saw, not on the live, after the live, before we'd actually seen these photographs blown up, she said she saw the dog in sort of camera view and the maid before we was actually aware that they were in the shot, which is amazing as well.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, doesn't it? Everyone's
it does
enlightening themselves,
exactly,
by
most definitely
experiencing some of these things that we're doing. So it's good that it
Exactly.
translates over the internet in that fashion.
It is, yeah. It's remarkable, isn't it? Just goes to show that you don't have to feel like you're on that path to actually be able to do what we do. Anyone can do it, to be fair. Anyone.
So can I just put it out there to the guys? What do you guys think of these photographs? I mean, I'll go back to the first one. So obviously this was the first picture, and then this was the capture upon zooming in. So do we have any?
Yeah, could you bring it up to the capture? That's it. My question is, do any of you feel that this is a young or an old dog?
Visually looking at it, it looks relatively young, I would say.
I don't feel it's as young as we feel, though. I think it's middle-aged, a middle-aged dog. Not old, but not young either.
I'm just going by the... Yeah.
Sorry. It's because obviously I've got German Shepherds as well. From that one, it looks like the legs are going, which is the legs and the hips go in old age.
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
No, I'd not thought of that.
All the hips go at old age with German Shepherds. It's the way they're bred. So I'm just wondering if it is actually an older Shep.
Possibly, yeah. You could be right there, Cole. I'd not thought on that angle.
Yeah, well spotted.
No. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, to be fair, yeah. And you would know, having a German Shepherd yourself, you know about the breed, don't you? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, over to Graeme.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I'm getting a cat as well.
Oh, I suppose that's absolutely possible that there was a cat as well there.
But yes, I agree with the German Shepherd. I know.
Okay.
If you hold a dog, the legs do go.
Hmm.
Just having a look. I mean, it seems quite scared to come out, and it's like he's found somewhere to rest, and that's where he's. Yeah, because obviously he's lost the use of his back legs. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm feeling. He's lost the use of his back legs, and that's where he's going to be safe.
Yeah. Oh, possibly. I think his owner wasn't awfully too kind either, so he probably, in his life, did try and shelter away from him as much as he could as well, I feel.
He's cowered away.
He wasn't treated too nicely. I wouldn't.
I feel
just the way I feel. I don't.
The dog was considered to be a working dog, so not like a part of the family, like we would taking dogs in that way. It was just part of the estate, as they would have seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So he wouldn't have been treated in a nice manner like we treat our dogs. Not at all. And perhaps he wasn't even allowed in the house. Perhaps so. But I do feel like the maids used to give him a bit of food here and now and what have you, bless him. But yeah, you're probably right there, Carl. Now keep looking at it. I think you're probably right. You know, I'd never noticed the bend on the legs. I do think you're right, probably now, looking at that.
It's all
Could I
perception
just
as well,
put in
though.
say I've just got to pop for a minute. I will be back as soon as I can. So
Okay.
carry on. Cheers.
And he's off. Yeah, so I will go on to the next.
Oh, hold on.
All right, okay.
If you look further down, just above there where your mouse is.
Yeah.
Go back. There. Up a bit. I've got move your mouse up. There.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Oh, actually, yeah. It looks like there's a nose and two eye sockets.
It does,
and
and eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
I'd never
peering
noticed
around the
that.
corner.
That's what I've been looking at. That's what's been distracted.
It looks like an old fella, don't it, or an old woman? No, certainly an old person. Someone in that age of dotage, you know, where perhaps the marbles are going a little bit. Not to sound unkind, but you know, for want of a better description.
Yeah.
That was
just
a good
peering
spot,
around the
Graeme.
corner.
Thank you.
It is, Graeme.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at it. I was zooming it in and I spotted that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, well spotted.
Thank you.
That is fabulous, Graeme. Cracking.
Are we happy to look at the next ones?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So again, this is the original shot, and I just zoomed in. Oh, let me move my mouse. Gone all crazy. To this area here, and I just took a screen capture, and so this is the said screen capture. And so, what do you guys think of this one then?
I mean, that's as clear as day. I mean, there's no arguing with that one. So, you know, it's no form of pareidolia or anything like that. It's blatantly obvious what that is. So I reckon that's absolutely cool.
It was weird. We didn't even realise we'd captured that until was it yesterday or no, it might have been Tuesday, and I got 5 minutes to look at the photos. And like you say, Carl, that as I zoomed in, that just kind of leaked out.
Yeah,
you can't not see it, can you?
No, it's spot on, that is.
But what I particularly like about the photo is the fact that there's one spirit here, the maid. She's almost near enough in physical form, solid form, whereas this gentleman looks like he's still building up.
The energy, perhaps.
Yeah, and it's just fascinating to see that process actually caught on, you know, camera. Yeah,
absolutely. It does take an awful lot of their energy to project themselves, doesn't it? So perhaps the lady spirit, the maid, maybe she's had more practice in letting herself be seen, and perhaps the gentleman.
Zooming in, you can see that the jawline there, the hair, head.
Absolutely, it's clear as anything.
And this gentleman, look, with a hat, you can see like a moustache, looks like sort of a beard, quite a long beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
It's crazy. It's brilliantly crazy, isn't it? But it just shows you.
Did not expect that.
No.
No.
It is. It's just remarkable that we managed to capture that on the camera. It's just proof, you know, and no one can really say otherwise. Those captures are what they are, and completely back up what we was channeling at the time.
What are your thoughts on that, Graeme?
Yeah, I can see. Zoom in. Yes, I can see the maid. I can see that's been like the kitchen area. You know, you always get at that time. You always get like the gatekeeper coming in.
Oh yes, yeah, for a cuppa or something like that.
Yes, or drop rabbits off that was caught, or pheasants, or things like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking out, and
yeah. Well, definitely, quite possibly, really, because we did know that was that part of the house, and that was the quarters. So it's quite possible that it could be the kitchen, Graeme. You could be right there.
Because when everybody, obviously, we've seen it on Downton and other things, that anybody that doesn't go through the top, who aren't smart. Ooh, okay, sorry. Who aren't knock your laptop over? Who aren't smartly dressed go down to the lower doors, like with the kitchen area. And that's what I'm kind of getting from this. They got the gamekeepers, everybody else, the gardeners go through the bottom doors.
Oh yeah.
Where they bring all the food in, and that's kind of what I'm picking up, is that he's bringing food in.
The tradesman entrance.
Yes.
You beat me to it. I was going to say that.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to take that down now. Have you got anything else to add on that particular first investigation there, Christina, as well?
No, I think we've covered it all, haven't we? Really?
Yeah.
It was thoroughly. It was wonderful. It really, really was.
I think all we can say is, for those that are interested, have a look on our YouTube channel or on this feed.
Please.
And just make up your own minds what we actually caught.
Absolutely.
We'll leave it to you guys. So without further ado, then we'll move on to our second location, which is Hubbard Hills in Louth. And so if you bear with me a second, I'll be able to show a little bit of footage as I just get it up there. Yep. Have you got that? Yeah. So I'll play a little bit of this footage.
No sound.
No sound now.
I think it's nice, Christina, that you're doing an investigation with the lesser fortunate of society.
Oh, sorry,
there's
my
no
fingers
sound.
Just slipped. Everything's falling. My screen's just gone down as well. There's no sound now. And I can't remember what we were saying at this point either. It's gone.
We could do a voiceover. Well,
oh, so there was no there was no sound.
No sound.
Oh, hold on a minute. I know what's happened. Technical issues. Let me just go back in and I'll put it on again. Technology, eh? So where were we? There's that one. Oh no, I bet it's done it again. Do you know what? Scratch that. We'll talk about it. So we'll
just talk about it.
Then. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, like I say, this was Hubbard Hills in Louth, and it's reportedly meant to have had lots of paranormal activity there, which was told to us by the locals. And so we decided to go and check it out for ourselves, really. And I think the first thing that we encountered was a gamekeeper or a landsman or something. He came charging over to us. You can't come in here at this time of night. You can't park there with your cars. And we was like, what? And so, yeah, so we had to go and find alternative arrangements for the car parking, and we managed to walk our way down there.
We did.
But yeah, it was fascinating. I mean, it was nice to see Glynn actually channeling and working as a medium and sharing some of his insights as well. And he picked up quite a lot whilst we was there, didn't he?
He did, yeah, he did. He picked up a dog, didn't he? A Jack Russell. And then we was just channeling into that. And then I felt a sense of a woman, didn't I, that had perhaps collapsed or something. And the dog was frantically looking for that. And to be fair, later on, we did actually get confirmation of that as well. I did Google it, didn't I? So we got confirmation that someone did actually collapse. A lady did collapse with a dog on that part of the field. We also encountered a young lad, didn't we?
Yes.
Glynn actually heard him breathing, didn't he? And we went, and then we sort of stopped because we was in front, weren't we? Yeah,
that's right.
And then we went to where Glynn had heard the breathing, and it was a young lad, wasn't it? And we could smell chocolate and sweets, couldn't we? And he was just chilling himself. He was enjoying himself, and we just interrupted him really. And he was talking, wasn't he? And he just basically wanted us to go, didn't he?
I think he told us to bugger off.
Yeah, I was about to say. He did. So he was quite a funny one, wasn't he? He was just enjoying himself, and he was playing with spinning tops and all sorts, wasn't he? Yeah. Which is lovely. And then a bit further along the way, Glynn then again said he felt uneasy, didn't he? Going towards a certain part of the path, and we all kind of felt that.
What about the tree?
The tree. We're missing the tree, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, there was this tree, a very grand-looking tree, but it had a sinister energy to it, which is unusual because trees don't usually have any type of sinister energy at all, do they? But we felt it was because things had been done to people up against that tree, and it had picked up on that negative residual energy from the acts and it was quite a haunting tree, wasn't it? For a tree, it didn't feel right when you touched it. We all touched it, didn't we? It was like, oh, we need to get away from this tree. That's
right, and it kept messing up with the signal as well. Although we were surrounded by trees, that particular tree just cut off the signal
every time. A good 5 times, didn't it? We kept cutting out, didn't we? All the time. And that tree and no other tree had that same energy, did it? Every other tree just felt like a tree. I've never encountered a tree that felt negative ever. And I do love trees, but it was a strange one, that tree, wasn't it? That obviously was picking up on.
Pick up that someone was strapped to the tree.
Was bound to the tree.
And was
being
whipped.
Whipped,
for being a deserter in the First World War.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So that was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? Really, that poor tree picking up on those energies.
And of course, our solar plexus all along that park were just.
Oh crikey! They were going, weren't they? We felt that energy. Yeah, absolutely. All our stomachs were all going, weren't they? And it was all gassy, and it's like the negativity, isn't it? It does make you feel a bit strange when your solar plexus and sort of, up into your windpipe, doesn't it? And we all felt that, didn't we? And then we carried on walking, and Glynn said he felt uneasy, but we all did, didn't we? Going up that path, like something had happened. And then
put your finger on it, could you? It was just a vibe.
Yeah. It was just the further we walked up, the more we felt off, and the more we had this churning and this feeling in our guts, didn't we? Like it was just, sort of a feeling, and it just got stronger the further we went up the path. And then as we came towards the end, none of us liked the look of the end of that path, did we? We all was like, but we carried on going, and then I think I picked up, but I think everyone else did as well, that someone had committed suicide there.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then was picking up on the reasoning as to why, because the poor chap was destitute, he didn't have a penny to his name, and he'd lost everything that, you know, he loved in his life. So then we decided, didn't we, that we was going to go and pinpoint which exact tree, because we felt, you actually saw the noose, didn't you, around his neck, and you felt it.
I've actually got a picture of that tree, which
wonderful.
Sent me. Well, not the tree, but like the zoom in. So let me just get it up. So it should be up now. Yeah, there we go. So basically, he took a photo, didn't he? And he zoomed into the center of the bark, and there looks to be some sort of energy there as I'm zooming in.
Absolutely, there was, wasn't there? Mm-hmm.
Like these light energies. And then you can see like almost faces in some description in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It almost felt like at the time, and I think I possibly said it, that it was almost like it was an imprint of a life that had been lost there, but probably more than one life was lost there. And also I backed that up with Google as well. And when I researched into it, quite a few people had committed suicide in that particular part of the park.
Oh, that's right. You did that on the live feed, didn't you? That's right.
I did that on the live feed. Yeah, I Googled and got everything verified, which was wonderful. But this chap that we all channeled, basically, he felt there was nothing more he could do, and he took his own life in that tree. But he was kind of stuck in like a limbo. He couldn't find light. He couldn't pass over, could he? So we started to help, and and I was in the end I had to be a little bit forceful with him, because he still didn't feel he had the energy to go to the light. So I had to be quite not forceful, but assertive with him. I boosted his energy with my own. I connected to him to give him energy so that he could lift himself up to ascend, to actually be able to reach the light. But he was still very hesitant to actually follow the light even then. So in the beginning, obviously, I started off very calmly, and obviously I wasn't horrible in any way, shape or form, but I did have to be quite assertive towards the end to almost, you know, make sure he went, because I had this feeling, because I've connected my own energy to his to boost him up. I knew that if he didn't pass over, he would have been still connected to me, and he wouldn't have let go to that. And I was very aware that I wasn't going to let that happen, because I got the feeling when I was connected to him, he was a very in life. He was quite a how would you describe a person that doesn't let go of something or someone?
Clingy.
Stubborn.
Yes, that's the word. Yes, all of them. Clingy was the word I was looking for. I felt when I connected to him, he was quite a clingy man in life, and if anyone showed him kindness, he clung on to that, because I don't think he had an awful lot of that. And I think with me, because I was being kind to him and I connected my energy to his, I thought, no, you are going to pass over, because I'm not having you clinging on to my energy. And I was going to make absolute sure that didn't happen. So I did have to get a little bit forceful and assertive towards the end to make sure he went, which he did, which was quite funny, wasn't it, Glenn? Because then all of a sudden, on the actual footage, if anyone wants to watch the footage, I've watched it because Glynn said to me, when you were sending him over, I've got my eyes closed, and so had Glynn. So I didn't see what Glynn was doing, and he wasn't aware what he was doing. But if anyone wants to watch it, when I'm actually connected to him, I'm trying to think, what was his name again? It's on the tip of my tongue. Gary. When I was connected to Gary, Glynn was actually, he had his eyes closed, and he said he wasn't aware he was doing it, and I certainly wasn't, because I was channeling and I was connected. He was actually walking in circles. He was sort of swaying in like a circle. But he wasn't
with the
aware
energy.
he was doing it. Wow. He was. So if anyone wants to watch that, it's actually, you know, it's fascinating to watch, but also it was almost like Glynn was feeling the energy and it was moving. He literally said to me, I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't aware I was doing it. And I was like, well, I certainly wasn't. But yeah, he felt the energy as well at the time. And then all of a sudden, I think it must have been just after, or possibly at the same time that Glynn stopped doing that, you sneezed, didn't you, Glenn?
Oh, I did.
The biggest sneeze. And then all of a sudden we all laughed, and it's like, he's gone.
It lifted the energy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I've thought about that since, and I'm wondering if that sneeze that built up within you was the energy building up, and then suddenly it changed.
That releasement, that letting go.
Yeah, that's right. And then you felt that, and it expelled that, and that was it. Or just like that, we all laughed, didn't we? And all of a sudden, the energy that we felt that was so very dense, all of a sudden was very light-hearted again, wasn't it? So it's a fascinating one for anyone to watch. It really, really is.
And that's it. So what do you guys think to that then, to the second location, Hubbard Hills?
The tree's fascinating, especially with those little lights down it. I agree with what you're saying. It's like absorb the energy, the life out of whoever was there.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Graeme on that, really. I think being in that environment, you can soak it all up, and you can see with your mind's eye a lot better than what you can actually being here just to experience it. So I actually do regret not being there for that, because that must have been really, really impressive to feel.
It was very intense.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
very
now
intense.
we've got Glynn back on. We're just talking about Hubbard Hills, Glynn. So maybe you could share your account of the your experience.
Well, I'm not sure if you're showing any videos there of you at all, but I know we're on the walk up. Yeah, because on the walk up, I definitely heard a voice at the side of my ear, a groan, which I think you might have caught, hadn't you?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you played that, but that was a definite groan, definite breath, which it sort of drew my attention. It was fortunate. It was also dark, so it was fortunate as well that Glenn had got the light on, so we could see the actual path that we were walking on, because otherwise that was pitch dark. But it was different for me to actually do mediumship this time, rather than actually having me all me ghost hunting and tools and everything. I think you mentioned that, Glenn, didn't you?
I did, and
it was different for me doing that rather than having the equipment.
You were spot on with everything you picked up.
I certainly.
I was just sorry.
I certainly enjoyed it. No, I certainly found the experience enjoyable, but also as we were walking up the hill towards the trees, the atmosphere changed, and I know Carl's on the skeptical scientific side of it, but you'll understand, Carl, when you say that actually the atmosphere 100%, changes.
I get you completely with that.
Yeah, it's just like, you don't have to be psychic or not just to know that. You're just thinking, not happy here. And I think I remember saying that to you.
You did, yeah.
So I certainly enjoyed that.
I was just saying, Glynn.
I certainly enjoyed that.
I was just saying how you pointed out to me that when I was sending that Gary over to the light, you were going around in circles. Mm-hmm. And you told me to watch it because you didn't realise that you was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I watched it. Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, he absolutely is going around in circles. It's like you were swaying and all sorts. But you wasn't aware you was doing it, and I wasn't aware you was doing it.
Yeah, No, because you've got your eyes closed as well.
Closed,
So, I mean, I don't know if we've got that footage, have we at all?
No, I haven't got it up because I've showed some already, and we had a bit of a technical issue. So
Right.
I took that one down.
Okay. Well, it's on YouTube anyway. Then so if people want to look at it and watch the end of the second video when Christina sent it over, you'll see it looks like I'm actually either on the waltzer or doing an impression for the more senior members of the people, the impression of a Weevil man.
Weevil.
I was going all over the place, but I didn't fall down, I must admit.
He didn't fall down, no. Yeah, I watched it all.
No.
Was that when the spirit was going over? Or?
Yeah, it was when I was building his energy and I was having to be quite assertive with him. And I was boosting him up, connecting to him so that he'd go and making sure he went so he didn't linger. And as I was boosting him, just before we actually went, like I say, I wasn't aware of it because I had my eyes closed and obviously I was channeling, so I was focused. But yeah,
right.
When I looked at the video afterwards, yeah, Glynn's proper circling. It's quite amusing and interesting to watch all in one go.
What I'm getting is that I'm getting the feeling, obviously, with Glynn spinning around, I'm getting this spirit is picking up on his energy, and he's going up, and that's what's making him spin.
Quite possibly, yeah. Yeah.
And Glenn's not used to that.
Certainly different. It was certainly interesting.
So he's taking more of Glenn's energy.
No,
to go over. That's just what I'm picking up.
I don't think he was taking Glenn's energy. I think Glynn was feeling the energy.
Just the experience of it.
Yeah, he was feeling it, wasn't he? He was completely, which is why he was in zone.
Him going over. It had some resemblance on.
I was doing something. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's cracking to watch. You've got to watch it, everyone. It's brilliant.
I will do.
It is. It's funny. It's funny, but it's so interesting at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough. I might have to watch it.
You should. It's brilliant. Even if you want to.
I mean, my thoughts on it is definitely an interesting place to go to. It felt a completely different energy during the day when people are there walking the dogs or whatever they're doing. But at night time, it does actually take on a different feel to it. So, big shout out to Megan there shout out to Megan there for recommending that to us. So thanks for that.
Definitely.
Cracking place. And it was also nice that obviously I was there at Google and we could actually get it verified that what we was actually getting through was actually right as well, which is amazing in itself.
Yeah, definitely. Well, shall we move on to the final location of Saturday evening, which we was invited down to our friend's pub in Louth called the Gas Lamp. And it was reportedly known to have some paranormal activity. I mean, I've been to this location prior to the investigation, not in any capacity to go there to look for spirits, just on a social event. And I picked up spirit there several times. And so it was nice to go in full-on investigation mode and explore this location. But before we discuss it, I'm just going to see if this technology will work and allow me to show a little bit of footage. And I think, Glynn, it's the footage that you described with hearing the footsteps on the stairs towards the end.
Right, that's towards the very end of the... So if it does play, a little bit of backstory to this, if it does play, if you can, once Louise actually sits down at the bench, then listen a couple of seconds afterwards, and then you'll hear me interject and say, did anybody hear the noise on the stairs? Because I was trying to ascertain whether it was Louise that had moved, but she was clearly sat down and not moving. And then I heard a noise afterwards, and Christina did as well. So I hope we can actually pick that up.
Yep. So I'm just going to share the footage now. Okay, so you should see it on your screen in a moment. There we are. So
What have you experienced?
Only what mentioned before, like the casks moving and dropping and things like that, footsteps.
Sorry, can I just interrupt you there? Did you anybody hear that on the stairs?
Yeah.
No, I missed that one.
There was footsteps on the stairs.
Yeah, so I didn't know that was me. I was just going to sat down.
No, you sat down. You sat down. I just heard footsteps on the stairs there.
Would that have been that shadow that you saw?
Maybe. Maybe, I say, because I just told you inside. I looked up and just saw a shadow just in the corner.
Yeah.
Right at the corner of the door, heading towards the stairs. And it was just like I couldn't quite picture who they were.
Yeah. I feel like it's that cocky. Like. It's because what was discussing was like when I used to cash up. Now I just put the till out the storeroom. I look it up. But we always used to, for the staff, I always used to count the till out. So they'd start off with a stop for the next day. And obviously before lockdown, we had 2 stores. One used to be in the corner and the other one used to be like here. And I was cashing up and I was like, and there was a bloke sat there on the stool, playing as you're standing there. And as I was like, you know, because I turned away. And I was like, what the hell? And I looked and he was gone. So yeah, so that was the first, not the last time I'd ever seen that. And then obviously.
So what does everyone think of that?
Interesting.
The footsteps were wonderful.
So say again, Cole.
The footsteps were wonderful. You could really hear them.
Yeah.
Really clear. Sounded somebody quite heavy-footed, so chances are I'd say male, but that's just going by the sound. I mean, but that's what I would have said.
Yeah. Graeme?
I couldn't hear the footsteps there.
Right. Is it worth you listening to it on YouTube when it's quiet?
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, so you roughly know where to hear it.
Yeah, it's just after Louise sits down.
Right.
It's towards the end of the video there as well.
Yeah, it's about 10 minutes to go or something like that, isn't it?
I'm going to watch most of them. Well, all of them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear. There was interference on the video. It kept flicking back. So at that time, I couldn't hear any footsteps. I couldn't hear anything. It was the video was flickering.
Yeah.
But
strangely enough, go on, Glenn.
Yeah, go on. I was going to say this location was a fascinating place for us all. I'm sure you'll all agree. I mean, right from the get-go, I felt the energies there. Although we had a good half an hour or so before we did commence the investigation, as you will see, we documented it all, didn't we? So it's all there to see on the YouTube channel and also on this on our live feed here on Kindred Spirits. But absolutely fantastic. I mean, as a medium as well, it was nice to actually have that balance of tuning in to past timelines and relaying that information to the owners of the location. And then whilst we're doing that, we're getting insights from the actual people in those timelines. So we're getting some direct spirit communication and dialogue running. So that was fascinating, which you will all see on the video. But I don't know about what you two guys thought about it, but I found it absolutely fascinating, and I'd love to go back there and carry on where we left off, basically.
Oh, I think we could have been there all night. I really, really do. I think we'd have carried on all night long. We would have been getting, spirit come through. We would have been. I mean, the thing was, we got through. We was channeling so many different spirits from different timelines, weren't we? From different walks of life, and it was all kind of. It was almost like it sounds daft, but a spiritual party, because you know, we'd all individually get a different person. And sometimes there'd be links, little links to them, and sometimes they'd be completely separate people. So it was almost like the different areas and the different buildings that used to be there, all that residual energy was connecting to all of that. And it's almost like they was coming down, like beaconing to us, because they, you know, they was picking up on our energy almost. It was a remarkable feeling, wasn't it? Because it wasn't just pure channeling spirit and hearing it, we were seeing it, we was feeling it. And obviously the energy of the building in itself, it's kind of had everything, didn't it? I could have stayed there all night and I wouldn't have found it. I wouldn't have had 30 seconds where I was bored. It was a brilliant energy. And from sort of walking in the pub and then going up them stairs, the energy on those stairs alone. I mean, do you remember when we was walking up the stairs, Glenn, and we could hardly walk? It was like our feet were planted. And it was like we were in quicksand almost, wasn't it? I mean, you had real problems walking those stairs. It was like we had lead boots on, and it was going through the wood of the stairs. It was it was really it was almost like, in a way, they was trying to stop us from going up there. You know, they didn't want us to go up there, so they was trying to slow us down. Obviously, we did get up there, and then once we did, in every part of the upstairs, the different energies, you know, in the office and the brewery and the sort of the rooms in between, different energies all round. It's a remarkable place, and we could have been there all night and still been very well entertained by spirits and the energies, I feel.
Definitely.
I like when you was out in the woodland. For me, you didn't go by the standard paranormal investigation. It was about picking up on the spirit that was there. That to me is more credence than anything, because I hate outdoor investigations because practically everything can be debunked. That's why I love the mediumistic approach of going outside.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Well, we really enjoyed it. We really did. Thank you. Yeah. It was amazing. It really was.
I think from me as well. Graeme, have you got anything else to add, mate?
I can't hardly hear some of the rain falling on the windows and the conservatory roof. So I'm having difficulty hearing you.
Right. Okay. But I think
What's that, Carl?
I've got
to again, Carl.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, mate. You look after yourself. Thank you. Take care,
everybody. Bye. Bye.
Yeah. So I think, bless him, I think from my point of view, I enjoyed that because it got me back into doing mediumship rather than the actual group leading, so to speak, which I've become accustomed to of recent times. Definitely enjoyed the stairs, because that made me laugh. Looking at Glenn coming down the stairs, it was like he was attending a funeral.
Oh, I could not move my legs fast enough.
Yeah. No, we could actually, couldn't, could you?
No, it was like I was doing the funeral march, walking downstairs.
Yeah. And people watching, I've got a little piece of footage which I'm going to show you at a later date. It was odd, but it could well be a very natural explanation for it. It's very interesting. So what we're going to do, we'll piece it together and then we'll show it you on another show and let you make your own minds up on what you think to that particular piece of footage. However, as we left the building, and Glenn and Christina, we stood at the car. Jason, I remember, shouted me in and he said, "Have you been smoking?" Which is quite a bit of an insult to me because I've never smoked in my life, and none of us did. However, around at the bottom of the stairs, there was the really distinct smell of smoke. And when he said, "Has anybody actually been there?" he asked Louise if she'd been smoking. She was only outside. But it was a very strong, pungent smell of smoke at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
Didn't the alarm go off?
The smoke alarm going off.
Yeah,
it was,
the smoke alarm went off,
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, as we were stood outside.
When we were stood at the car, it went off.
Yeah, smoke alarm went off.
It's almost like they didn't want us to go.
Yeah, and also Louise. Yeah, also Louise heard a bang on the barrels. So was that a spirit answering her? was that a normal thing of the room cooling down? Don't know, some other things to look at. But I think it was, all in all, it was very fascinating. They might not have wanted us to leave, but I certainly did, because I was absolutely shattered.
You were shattered, weren't you?
At that point. Yeah.
So what time did you leave the pub?
About
It's gone 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 past 1 or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lock-in.
I think by the time we actually left the car park, I think it was about 1:30, wasn't it? I think we started to leave about 15:15, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a fascinating place. It really is thoroughly fascinating and the energies in there. And even in the downstairs part, before we left, the energies at the back of the room, we were picking up spirits, and there was little messages, wasn't there, for Jason and Louise? They were so helpful. It's a fascinating place. Like I say, we could have been there all night and still.
But what about everyone's description of the office room? I found that a complete contrast to the rest of the building.
The office. I loved the energy in that office. It was like the ideas and inspiration room, wasn't it? It was pure loving, positive energy. It's like whatever ideas you conceive in that room are going to bloom. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
And that window, I was transfixed, kept just looking at that window. It almost felt like, to me, it was like a positivity portal. That window in itself, the lights, streaming in. It was almost like it was full of positive. That little room was full of positive. And I think that window in itself, I think Louise said it was one of these structures from before, wasn't it? It's quite an old window and what have you. So maybe that window in that little area has always been a very positive part of the building, no matter what it was. And maybe that's why it was the office, because that's where the ideas are going to come in, and where the inspiration's coming from for the business ideas. But beauty, I love the energy in there. To be fair, I love the energy everywhere. I thought it was a wonderful place to be. Even the energy that wasn't quite as positive was still quite positive. It wasn't an oppressed feeling in there at all, was it? It was quite a
I'd say it was mischievous and
yeah, exactly, mischievous, but nothing worrying, was it? It was they will let themselves be known, but we all like to be known, don't we, in our own right at some point? So why is spirit going to be any different? Yeah. So it was quite endearing in some respects, wasn't it? It wasn't anything bad or anything negative. It was all quite entertaining. It's almost like they wanted to entertain us as well.
Well, I'd like to thank Jason and Louise for being our lovely hosts and allowing us to go and explore and investigate their property there. It was amazing of them to let us do that. And so we'd like to
lovely
thank you.
People, aren't they? Thank you so much. You're both absolute darlings.
And we're definitely going to take you up on your offer and come back.
Yes, there's a Louth part 2, isn't there?
We're all smiling.
It will be.
We're all smiling sweetly at you.
Yeah. Please. I think it's I think that's been a lovely way, to round off this show, I think. So I think it's been a really interesting show of evidence. And I think overall it's been a positive atmosphere and a positive conclusion to it. So I was going to say thanks to the team, like Graeme, Christina, Glenn.
You're welcome.
You do well. And Carl, who's disappeared, bless him. I did say a little surprise for Alex towards the end of the show for sticking with us. And it is, I've just been having to think about it. It is my group. So, Christina, we'll keep you informed. And whenever we get an investigation, actual proper investigation, you can come for free as my guest, as a compliment to me. So when we get some bookings,
wonderful.
And to Christina,
well done,
you're welcome.
We'll get it sorted, darling.
We'll get it sorted, and
you can come with us.
Proper go Alex. So hope you enjoy that.
You'll love that, won't you, mate? You will.
Yeah. And also not forget the 6th member, because we will get you out, Megan, even if it means you having to walk to your mum and dad's pub. So
there she is.
Means you having to walk. There she is.
Here she is. Here she is.
Bless her.
Come out, see us.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you're always welcome. Whenever you feel like it, Megan, you can always come join us. It'd be great to see you. So anyway, thanks team for everything, and we'll see you again shortly. Hopefully next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye, Alex.